is TJ Wilson, a.k.a. Tyson Kidd, and you're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast, established 2019. Direct from the North Wales coast. His verbal skills definitely outweigh his wrestling ability. It's time for British Wrestling's sharpshooter, your host, Stu Palmer.
A warm welcome. This is episode 206 of Stu's Wrestling Podcast. It is the second episode of 2026. I said about 4 or 5 months ago I'd be back. We've been a bit slow, a bit sluggish with the content, but waiting in the wings. A brand new promotion, but a returning promoter, Steve Saxon of Saxon Wrestling Promotions on Stu's Wrestling Podcast. How are we, mate?
I'm good, Stu. Good to see you again, man. How you keeping?
Absolutely fantastic, mate. I cannot complain. Life is good. Steve, over the last month or so, there's been news, mate, and you are back on the British wrestling scene, coming back to reclaim your mantle on the North Wales coast.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I think. It's been 6 years out of the game. I didn't fully expect to be back in the game, I'll be honest with you, but no, it's good to be nearly back.
How long have you been thinking about this? How long has this been in your thoughts, in your mind, in your brain, this project?
Not very long, if I'm being honest with you. It's by complete chance and fate, let's use the F word. When I sold up in 2020, I was done. Through professional circumstances, personal circumstances, away from the business. I thought I'd done 12 years with my old promotion. 20 years in wrestling in general. I thought it was just time for a change, and I had no interest to come back. I missed it, and I did vocalize that quite a bit, that I missed aspects of the business, but I didn't think I'd be coming back. It's just through complete chance that the right opportunity presented itself at a very strange time, and the opportunity was too good to say no to. So yeah, here we are. We're back at the Ffrith Beach Arena in Preston.
A place that you've promoted for years and years and years, and that 12 years as well, mate. You know, the who's who, the guys at the grassroots level, of course, who you've promoted, the boys who've gone on to do fantastically well, but they were under your learning tree from the start, mate, and they have gone on to do great. Obviously, Dougie Matthews and Zach, of course, as well. And both guys have done fantastically well, haven't they?
They have, and more aside from those, haven't those, you know, were kind of the two of the final ones before I sold up in 2020 that were coming through the ranks, and it was nice to see where they were just getting with the Alpha Gen system that we had in place there, which was the grassroots, young raw talent, and those two were the two shining stars of that group. So it's good to see that they've done so well for themselves. It's good to see that they're still local and that they're willing to come back and support my new promotion and ultimately the venue where they started, the Ffrith.
Crazy, man, crazy, but amazing as well. At the event at Ffrith Beach, Easter Sunday, April the 5th, of course, just getting that together, putting the card together, and you've announced a few things that are going on. The tournament, the Ffrith Beach Cup, of course, an 8-man tournament. Just formulating that, getting that together, and the guys that are obviously coming over for the 8-man tournament to win the trophy.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. That is probably the biggest part of what I missed from the wrestling business was the creativity. Obviously, 2020, I was already involved outside of the business in hospitality, and I focused on that. And I've kind of built my own personal career to like an executive director role on that, and I've loved it. And I think it was good to get away and learn a different element of business away from the wrestling business. It's interesting to see how my dynamics and my thought processes have changed coming back into it. But the creative side of booking shows, booking matches, I really miss that. And the fact that I've been doing it with my old running partner, my old right-hand man, DJ King, Mike Holland, we just jumped straight back into it. It's as if 6 years they never happened. And it's been really nice. And I hope that the focus on the 8 guys in the tournament, as well as the tag match that's been announced There's still a good mix of what I believe in, the ethos behind my old promotion and this new promotion. Is it's a good mix of young, raw, independent talent, as well as experienced talent. And then we've got a little bit of flavour of some WWE NXT superstar and Sam Gradwell in there as well. So hopefully that shines through. And yeah, nothing's changed in that sense, like I said, but we still very much believe in grassroots, building from the bottom and going on that journey with them. But we also like to add a bit more experience to the show to help the new developing talent and a bit of international flair as well. So hopefully we've ticked all those boxes. But we are set to have more announcements coming. Obviously, we've still got 3 months to go, Easter Sunday. So we've got a few more announcements, big announcements to come, which should start dropping in the next few weeks. But yeah, it's been fun. It has been fun.
Amazing to see Drew Parker on the card, a man you promoted for years and years and years. Of course, went over to Japan, wrestled over there, deathmatch wrestling. Just how proud of him are you, mate? Because you showcased him when he was very, very young, of course.
Yeah, I met Drew when he was just starting off, as he was literally a kid. I think he was 15 years old, and I went to a basics wrestling show in Connors Quay. Saw him there, and he was the only one that really stood out to me that night. And I had a quick chat with him and said, look, when you're 16, get in touch. And he did. And we had a long, strong, healthy working relationship. And as well as Drew, obviously his partner, Ethan, Kid Lykos. They started off with us as the YOLO squad. They both then went their own ways. Obviously, Kid Lykos went on to do amazing things in Britain and Europe. Drew went over to Japan and just dominated that scene. So it's nice to be able to bring them both back together at the Ffrith. They had a lot of memorable moments at the Ffrith, as well as other venues across North Wales for me. But I think some of their bigger moments were definitely at the Ffrith. So yeah, it's nice that they've come back and they're willing, and they seem to be genuinely hyped for it as well, which is nice to see.
Act 2 have done fantastically well across the UK, of course. So that's going to be one hell of a match. I've followed their careers as well. They've been doing fantastic things.
I believe so. Again, 6 years out of the game. That's a long time out of the game. I very much, I'm relying on DJ Mike. He's obviously went away after I sold off the old company, and he started off Infamous Wrestling in Runcorn. He's been doing really well with that. He's got a really good brand going down there, and he couldn't speak highly enough about Act 2. I've heard of them. I've seen snippets of them. I know that obviously they're connected to Burning Heart, Zach Gibson, James Drake, who again, two names that not necessarily started off with me, but had a long run with me and kept on coming back even after the fame, which was nice. So yeah, I'm a little bit out of the loop. Some of the names for the 8-man tournament, I'm not that privy with at the moment, this moment in time. But I'm playing catch up. I've got 6 years to catch up on, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
You'll be fine, mate. You'll be fine. Get that first show sorted, done, and it'll just be like what you've done for years and years, mate. And I'd like to say about the Ffrith as well. What is it about the Ffrith as a venue for you? Because you're synonymous with that venue, of course, in Prestatyn there. What is it that draws you to the Ffrith? You personally?
I mean, initially, many years ago now, it would have been 18 years ago, pretty much. I had a friend that used to run the Ffrith as manager. He's no longer there anymore. And the main hall there, they were looking at something to do. I think they used to have an ice rink or something like that in there. And that wasn't working out. So they built the what you see the Ffrith now with the staged area and the bar at the back of the room. That was custom built for my old promotion because we were running monthly shows, weekly shows during the summer season and the holidays. So I have a lot of love for that venue because of the time, efforts, money, and resources they put into creating that entire room just for us. And we've had a lot of good, massive, huge memories from that venue over the years. And that was the driving force for me to make the decision to return. Was I'd always said, and this is the weird thing, I'll go back to what I said before, that it was a strange, weird timing. I was speaking to one of my contractors one evening, and he was asking me about the wrestling business. And he said, do you miss it? Would you ever get back into it? I said, yeah, I do miss it. I miss aspects of it. There's certain aspects I don't miss. Like I don't have a lot of free time as it is. So taking away even 10% of my free time is a big ask. But I made the statement that if the venue, the Ffrith, had ever contact me and asked me to go back, it would be very hard for me to say no. And then that was like 6 p.m. on a Thursday night. I had that conversation. And by 9 a.m. the next morning, I received a message from the venue asking if I wanted to run wrestling shows there. And at first I thought, somebody ribbing me here, somebody having me off, because that's too coincidental. So made a couple of inquiries and it was legit. And the venue manager, Madge, who I have a very long and good relationship with, professionally and personally, he's a good bloke. Wrestling wasn't always his forte. Wrestling wasn't really top of his agenda. So I thought there'd no chance that'd ever happen. But yeah, he asked me if he wanted to. The venue's taken a slightly different approach, a different change in direction. And they asked if I would like to go back there. And my first query, obviously, he was more than aware that I was no longer within the wrestling business. And, there are plenty of other promotions around locally in North Wales. Would you be better off going to them? They are still in the mix. I'm not. And they were very specific that they wanted my brand of wrestling back there, which was humbling. It was humbling and it was very nice. And it took me a whole of 2 minutes to make the decision that yes, I would love to come back.
Easy, mate, for you, that 100%. Do you know what, Steve? I want to ask about the logo and how the logo got formulated, the ideas behind that, mate, because we're going to branch off with this. So yeah, okay. The logo, which I love, by the way, absolutely fantastic. But putting that together, getting the logo as it is now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've seen some comments on there about who names a promotion after themselves, and it's very simple. My reasoning behind this is I went through a few different ideas. Do we go with adrenaline wrestling, or there was original wrestling, which was a play on words on Orig, the guy that trained me, Orig Williams, El Bandito. And I thought from a business perspective, that venue was known for Steve Saxon run shows there. And given that I obviously can't and wouldn't use my old promotions branding, obviously, because that promotion's still out there and still active and live. So what's the closest thing to my old promotion without referring to my old promotion? And it's the name Saxon. And the actual design was just, I'll be honest, there's a little bit of AI in there because I love AI. Love it. Until it takes my job. And I thought just to play on the X means that, we can that's just a nice logo to have. It can be used anywhere, the X, you don't need to have the whole Saxon Wrestling Promotions in there. And who knows, in time that may change as well. I'm also very much a believer in let the fans decide what happens. If they don't take to the name Saxon or the brand Saxon Wrestling Promotions, that's fine. We'll roll with it. It's certainly not for personal ego, although I'm sure there's some people out there that will disagree with that. But it genuinely isn't. It was just, what is the closest name that we can call this show at this particular venue where people go, oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Saxon used to run shows there years ago. So, yeah, that's the idea behind it.
Refreshing you saying you like AI, because how many people go mad about AI? It's ruining the industry. AI can actually be used for good. So it's nice to hear a positive spin about it from you, Steve.
I use it every day of my working life and my personal life as well, from just dicking around with photos of my mates and whatever, your family. I probably use it more for that than anything, but I do in my working life outside of the wrestling business, I use that every single day. It's a fantastic tool if used correctly. And it's only ever going to improve. And it's one of those, same as any technology and advances, you've got to accept it because it's here. And if it's here to stay. And it'll become a bigger, a more influential part of our day-to-day life as the days, weeks, months, years roll on. So embrace it. It's fantastic. And it saves me a lot of money as well, for being honest with you.
Mate, as you can see the background there, that was done using AI. I pumped in what I wanted. It took about 6 goes for it to get it right. But yeah, as you see there, the background, I'm very happy with it. So yeah, just reaffirming what you're saying about
it looks fantastic. And I think it's just like having a personal assistant. My AI calls me Sax. I call my AI G. We have conversations. We have arguments. It's like having a second wife, and we fall out. Inevitably, I always win, which is not like my marriage. But no, I love AI. I love AI.
You're a busy man in working life, family, everything going on. I always ask people when they come on about current product, the big promotions in world of wrestling. I've got to be honest, Steve, I don't watch nowhere near as much as I used to. I could clock in 8, 9, 10 hours a week quite easily. A bit like yourself, my life, just the way it is now, I can't do it. Are you in tune with what's going on with the big promotions, or are you away from it a little bit?
Kind of. I mean, I watch. I mean, through tradition with my my two sons, Jordan and Cole. We've always, since they were born, we watched every WrestleMania together, every Rumble, SummerSlam, particularly those three, the occasional pay-per-view thereafter, but certainly those three. And this weekend is the Rumble, depending on when this goes out, but at this moment in time, this weekend is the Rumble. Handy that it's in Saudi, so I haven't got to stay up until silly o'clock because I turned 44 last week. And I keep saying to my boys, the last couple of years, lads, it's going to be the last one because it takes me 2 days to get over it. If I stay up for a Rumble or a Mania, it takes me 2 days these days to get over it. As luck would have it, it's in Saudi, so it's on about 7 o'clock at night, which is ideal. So when it comes to the WWE, I don't watch it on a weekly basis. I connected to their social media account, so I kind of have a loose understanding. There's still some guys there that I remember from 10 years ago, the CM Punks, Ortons, Lesnar, etc. So it still sparks my interest there. And then by default, the younger talent, you get to know some of them as well. I certainly, when it comes to NXT, I'm not in tune with NXT. I'm not really in tune with AEW. I kind of get some of the bit moving parts there. But I am getting, because of WWE's connection to TNA, I am getting more in tune with what's been going on at TNA as well. So it's kind of yes and no. Certainly nowhere near as much as I used to. But as you said, I think as we get older, responsibility, since 2020 in particular, I've had another child, I've had another daughter, a little lockdown surprise, Hallie Rose. I've had a grandson, little Marley. I've become a granddad for the first time. So all of these factors taken in, as well as my professional life outside of the wrestling world, it's hard to sit down for 2 to 3 hours and commit to a Raw or a SmackDown or whatever the case may be. But I get what I can get. I stay up to date as much as I possibly can. And in all honesty, I like the current WWE product. I like the direction of it. I like the fact that they're more engaging with the fans. They listen to the fans. They give the fans what they want most of the time. I like it.
That's refreshing to hear because it's been getting knocked down.
It's wrestling. It always will do, won't it? It's wrestling.
Yeah, of course, mate. It's never been any different, has it? People will have an opinion about it, and that's fine. But what I don't like seeing, I've said about this previously, just photos of top seats from a person who's at the show, who's paid to be there. Yeah. It's like, why are you taking a photo of that? Do you know what I mean? Especially with AEW, because AEW went into smaller venues in the end, didn't they?
Which is smart.
Why
wouldn't you? Yeah.
Just like, why you're at the show, you've paid for a ticket, and you're showing that there's top seats, there's not a full capacity at the arena. The mind boggles with that, Steve.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I do read and I do hear about the divide between the internet wrestling community and the attending fans, and how the portrayal of a storyline or a wrestler, or even the way that it's run behind the scenes, is completely different from the online community to the physical community. But then, quite rightly, as you said, you'll have somebody that's paid good money, and the tickets are not cheap these days compared to what they used to be, and will go and then take a photo and then jump on the internet and bash the product that they paid to go and see. But again, it's always been the same in wrestling. It's just that these days we've got the internet so in front of us 24 hours a day, haven't we? The exposure's there, and with exposure, obviously and unfortunately, there's going to be people like to use their voice when hiding behind a keyboard.
It used to wind me up, mate. I get on my high horse about things and I start ranting and I get aggressive and all the rest of it. But it's just not worth it, mate. It's just not worth it. I'm trying.
Enjoy wrestling for you. Wrestling for you. That's what wrestling's all about. It's personal to you.
Absolutely. I've got to ask you just about Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, getting titles and things like that. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, Drew, the first time, it was during lockdown. So they never put it back on him. He's waited how many years to get it back? And then also CM Punk, the age of him and things like that. What are your thoughts on them two, getting gold recently?
I fully back it. I don't think age should come into it. I don't think it matters if you're a fresh-faced 19-year-old or you're approaching 50. If you've got the talent and the fans are willing to invest in you, tickets, merchandise, views online, interactions, that's what the wrestling business is built on. It's what it's always been built on. It's just obviously it's expanded these days with the online community being as big as it is. Drew, I think it's been good for Drew. I think him showing that side of his frustrations and the way he's conducted himself on social media, like on X. I'm not on X. I don't like X, but I see via Facebook and Instagram what he's putting on X. And I think he's built a character of, he likes a whinge and a moan, and often he's very, very funny, but he's often right in what he puts out there. He's very clever at what he puts out there, but then he's been able to build this character of having a bitch and a moan with elements of truth in there, and the fans have got onto that and they like it, and I kind of get the impression they're waiting to see after his interaction on a Raw or a SmackDown or after his match at PLE, what's he going to be putting on X. And he's got a little bit, not risque, but a little bit naughty what he's doing, but in a fun way. So he's built that character over whatever it was, 2020, 2021, whenever he won the strap on when there was no audience there. He's built this. He's built his. So he's done it again, hasn't he? He left WWE. He built up Drew McIntyre. He came back to WWE, got over, hit COVID, lost the strap, and he's reinvented himself again to the point now where, yes, he was always going to get that reaction that he got in the UK, always, that he got last week in London. But it doesn't matter. The fans from around the world seem to globally love Drew McIntyre. He's the perfect heel. And CM Punk's just CM Punk, isn't it? Everyone waited so long for him to come back. Yeah, I know he had that little bit of time in AEW, so the surprise factor was kind of gone a little bit, but the way that they did it at War Games was spectacular. And he's proved that he can still go with the best. And again, what the fans seem to like these days is to know what he's doing behind the scenes as well. And all I ever read and hear is that he's conducting himself very professionally backstage. He's a reformed character, and he's a pleasure to work with. Well, that's two big ticks there, isn't it? So no, I fully support it. I don't think age should come into it. It's all about ability, experience, and ultimately, are the fans willing to invest their hard-earned money into that character? And if they are, give them what they want.
The best
and that's what Triple H and his team seem to be very good at, is giving the fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why they're paid. It's what they do, and they're in the roles that they're in. There's no question of that. There's no question. With Drew, the best thing that ever happened to him was having that run at Impact, and because he was given time on the mic, which, we didn't know what he could do mic-wise. He didn't have the mic, did he? So no. It was very, very beneficial to him going forward. Then he worked on the physique. He got himself, more looking like just a Greek god in some senses. But again, I'm not knocking him not being around the title, because he was up a mid-card for years anyway. And he took on the who's who, didn't he? Him and Damian Priest were great. Punk and him, obviously, because of the injury, that got stalled and then they went back to it. So that is not me knocking Drew, because I love Drew.
I just think he ticks so many boxes. He's been very good in that role of, like you said about Damian Priest and multiple others, building the developing talent that are kind of beneath his level at that stage, and he steps in. He does a fantastic job. He elevates those people. At the same time, he's elevating himself at exactly the same time. You don't realise it. So he came to no massive surprise. Yes, it was a bit of a shock factor when he went over on Cody, but it was no massive surprise that they put the strap on Drew. I think Cody's getting a little bit stale, and he's obviously got other commitments outside of WWE now, and in Hollywood and what have you. And he's a massive ambassador for WWE, so I imagine that he's kind of performing at the John Cena kind of levels behind the scenes. There's stuff that we don't get to see. Whether it be Make-A-Wish or charitable events, fundraisers, that sort of thing, public appearances. But no, I think Drew's he's the master of reinventing himself and supporting the business and helping others to come up the ranks ahead of him, and in some cases as it's been. But look where he is now; he's back on top again.
Made up for him. I've got to meet him years ago over in the States when he was in 3MB, actually.
Oh, okay.
And
I love that gimmick.
He signed my Everton fan card that I had, because I was a member. Well, I'm a member now. what do you want me to sign? I said, I haven't got anything. He was in his Rangers top. And I whacked out this plastic card, and he's just shaking his head, but we had a laugh about it. He was great, mate. He was lovely. He was absolutely first class.
I worked a show with Drew many years ago. And I'm going to say it was in Glasgow. It was either Glasgow or Edinburgh. I was very young and I didn't pay that much attention back then, unfortunately. I should have done. But I was working for Orig Williams, and Orig was, whenever we used to go to Ireland or Scotland, he'd always make sure he had a local talent. And it was Drew. And I'm trying to think what he was called back then.
Drew Galloway.
Galloway, that's it. That's exactly what it was, Drew Galloway. And he came in, and he was only a very young lad there, but watching backstage with some of the more experienced guys that I used to share a locker room with, the Iron Duke and Boston Blackie and what have you, they were very impressed. Now, if they're impressed, that takes some doing. But lovely guy. Yeah, and I ran into him a few years later in an airport as well, and he remembered me, and I was nobody back then. I was a rookie, just a match filler. But it was nice that he remembered me, and then he popped up on WWE, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. I've worked a show with that guy. But yeah, lovely guy. Deserves everything that he's getting at the moment.
Superb. We're going to come back around to Saxon Wrestling Promotions and the show at Ffrith Beach on Sunday, April 5th, Easter Sunday. So yeah, Steve, big plug for this. Tickets are on sale, of course, as well for the listeners and viewers. If you're in the locality of North Wales or further afield over the border in England, yes, Steve.
Yeah, so get an Eventbrite. So, ironically, the show on Sunday, the 5th of April, will be the first wrestling show of Saxon Wrestling Promotions. Pre-COVID, the last time I ran at Ffrith was Saturday, the 14th of March, 2020. And we were plugging our next show to be Easter Sunday, the 5th of April. So by complete chance, our return date is the same as it should have been 6 years ago, which unfortunately never happened for obvious reasons. But yeah, tickets are on sale now via Eventbrite. We got VIP packages, which we were adding some new additions this time. So we've got media scrums for the fans, VIP matches for the fans, for the VIP fans, which also front row tickets, free merchandise. So there's not many of those left, which has been really nice to see, especially given when we announced it over Christmas and the time of year it is now, and the fact we still got 3 months until the show actually goes live. So yeah, get on Eventbrite, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or via the website, saxonwrestling.com. You can get your tickets over there as well. And as I said, keep your eye on our socials and our website, because there's some major announcements about to drop in the coming weeks.
Perfect, mate. Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's really been 6 years since you've
I know.
It's been a long time, and you've been doing what you've been doing with your day job, of course. You've done fantastically well with that. And as you said earlier, we alluded to it, family and everything else. But we got it done, mate. We got this done.
Yeah, we got there at the end, Stu. And you know what? I'm really a bit of a spoiler here. I'm looking forward to working closer with you in the future as the months roll on, Stu. We've always stayed in touch with each other. You do a fantastic job on this, and obviously with the football side as well. I have been keeping up to date for the 6 years. So it's been nice to actually catch up again after 6 years. Last time I sat in my office above one of my pubs in the Red Lion during COVID. So no, it's been lovely to catch up, and no, it's always a pleasure, Stu.
I am gutted. I am on holiday for the first show. I am gutted, mate. But I will be there for the second show, whenever that is, of course. I will be there for you, mate. Not a problem, because you've been so supportive of me. And yeah, just great. Absolutely brilliant. And it's going to be superb seeing you back doing this. And as we said earlier, the card is looking great, and there's going to be more to come.
And just as another little spoiler for you, Stu, so you can put it in your diary, you may want to block off the Maybank holiday as well.
Right, I will get on that. I'll put that request in for a day off, and I will do it early, mate. I'll do it early. My guest, Steve Saxon, promoter of Saxon Wrestling Promotions, former pro wrestler, promoted previously for many years, but he's back with the SWP, the real SWP, by the way. And yeah, this has been episode 206 of the show. It's been great being back. We'll be doing more episodes. A big thank you to the Sports Social Podcast Network, Europe's biggest sports podcast network, 700 podcasts and counting. A litany of shows, top-end shows. Aston Villa's official podcast is through them. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wolves is on there. Under the Cosh, who do a great show getting all the old school footballers on, current footballers. We're in amongst it. We're available on there. They showcase us really, really well. So yeah, thank you to the Sports Social Podcast Network as well. And I'll be back hopefully next week or the week after for episode 207. Thank you so much, Steve.
Cheers, Stu. It's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you.
TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd, and you're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast, established 2019, direct from the North Wales coast. His verbal skills definitely outweigh his wrestling ability. It's time for British Wrestling's sharpshooter, your host, Stu Palmer.